like this one at Mallow. Houses were sacked and burnt. Suspects were shot. These reprisals convinced the Irish that Britain was unfit to administer Ireland and led them to support the IRA. The Black and Tans are remembered and hated to this day.
They just ran through every town and village, guns at the ready, firing indiscriminately at passers-by, and at night breaking into people's houses, taking all the males out and bringing them either to the jail or barracks, questioning them and searching them, and very often took people out and they didn't come back home again, they were killed.
They were a complete law to themselves. They were given a free hand to do what they liked, and they did what they liked. They shot, burned, murdered, beat up, did anything they liked, and they burned Balbriggan and many other Irish towns.
The case of Balbriggan, a small seaside town near Dublin, was not untypical. On the 20th of September 1920, a senior policeman was killed. That night, policemen broke into, looted and burnt 4 pubs, 49 houses, and a hosiery factory. The morning saw families fleeing their homes. In England, public opinion grew restive. Concerned editorials appeared in the Times. The Sinn Féin strategy of making Ireland ungovernable by Britain was beginning to work. And there was another strategy being employed against the British, the hunger strike. London, 25th October 1920, Brixton Prison.
It was so long drawn out. People had no experience of long hunger strikes up to that date. When he passed 40 days, that there was no hope. We were expecting his death from day to day.
After 74 days, Terence McSweeney died. He had been the Lord Mayor of Cork and the commandant of the 1st i.r.a. Cork Brigade. Before his death, he had written, "It is not those who can inflict the most, but those that can suffer the most who will conquer." His body was returned to Cork. Thousands attended his funeral.
We followed that man's agony until he died. And we weren't alone at that. The whole country were with Terence McSweeney in Brixton Prison until he died.
After McSweeney's death, the atmosphere in Ireland was electric. Here, British forces confront Dublin crowds. Meanwhile, British Secret Service officers had arrived in Dublin to break the i.r.a.'s network of informers in the British administration.
Word got out that what they call the Cairo gang had arrived here in Dublin. They were the cream of the British intelligence, and that they were living in civilian houses all over the city. And needless, I was a soldier, the men who was with me were soldiers. We never asked any questions. We got an order, we carried it out. Whether it was right or wrong, we carried out that order. he went up to the hall door, knocked at the door, and a maid opened the door, and I said, could I see Captain Bennett? Oh, she said, he's in bed, so he's very important, I must see him. We brought down Bennett down to Ames, and I said to them, you know you're British spies. You know the consequences if you're caught as a spy is death. And I said, that's what's going to happen to you two men now. The Lord have mercy on your souls. So the two of them were shot.
Along with Bennett and Ames, the bodies of 10 other officers shot by the IRA were returned to England with full military honours. On the same day these men died, Black and Tans had fired into the crowd at a Gaelic football match in Dublin. 12 people died. It is remembered as Bloody Sunday. In Britain, concern grew, and the army was expressing disquiet about the effect of such reprisals. When Lloyd George inspected the Black and Tans in London, he was presiding over a divided cabinet torn between military repression and conciliation. In Ireland, the actions of these men had seriously eroded British authority and closed Lloyd George's political options. Now it was impossible to satisfy the majority of the Irish with anything less than independence. In May, as the i.r.a. burnt down the British local government office in Dublin, the army was telling the cabinet that a military victory in Ireland would entail full and draconian martial law. This was a prospect at which the cabinet balked. The will to fight in Ireland was fading fast. Punitive policy against the i.r.a. and its supporters had so alienated the Irish people that a military solution was no longer possible.